Hey, and welcome everybody to the latest episode of Taco Tuesday. I'm sitting down with my friend Nathan, or Nate.
No one calls me that.
I don't know if you like that. I was going to say you're not a Nate.
No, I'm not a Nate.
But I'm going to call you Nate now, just because I know it.
Because it'll annoy me. Why don't we eat tacos while you talk?
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we do have tacos from Coloca's on Main Street in Red Bluff, which is one of my favorite taco places. You've had tacos there, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But, I am known for asking questions right when people are
About to eat their tacos?
Yeah,
well, that's okay. And
yeah, well, okay, so just to bring up to speed anybody who's watching this, your wife, Taylor, was on an episode, and
number one.
Yeah, that's right, episode number 1. And she answered a lot of questions that I'm going to not ask you because she clarified how you came to the vineyard.
Yes.
And how you
property.
Yeah, how you hit somebody in the parking lot, our youth pastor, and then you kept coming. Yeah, now
you're
a
nice wrap truck.
Yeah. Okay, so question for you, is what's important to know about you? Like, what makes you tick? And if somebody who you're meeting for the first time,
oh gosh,
yeah, like what would you say is something important to know about you?
I would say I'm not the best person with small talk. So that can first time interaction with people can be a bit awkward because I'm not very good at that small talk interaction thing. You and I have talked for 4 hours in a row, but none of it's about small talk.
Yeah. I was gonna say you and I have sat and talked for hours.
That's kind of where I'm not very good at that initial socialization thing when it comes to meeting new people. Like you see me around church, I kind of just go and do my thing where I'm at. I'm not like the best. Like, hi, how are you? I've never met you before, type of thing. So. And it's not because I don't like people, and it's not because I don't care about people. It's just for whatever reason there's like a break in my brain and it doesn't work that way.
Maybe you should just go straight into like the deepest questions.
Just ask them the deepest questions in the world. Yeah.
What's the longing of your soul?
What is your trauma with church, and why do you not like it so much?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, well, I mean that's something.
Yeah, right. That'll be.
You've been in church for your whole entire life.
My entire life, yes, for better and for worse.
Why was that again?
My dad was a pastor with the Christian Missionary Alliance for most of my childhood.
Yeah.
And then when he wasn't doing that, he was a chaplain with the state penitentiary system. So I've been involved with every aspect of church, and hanging out with my dad at church and when he's writing his sermons during the week, and going to visit hospitals, which is why I don't like hospitals very much, and prison ministry, and responding to disasters in people's lives. Cops get called. You'd go out as a chaplain for law enforcement, firefighters, and stuff. So saw a lot of tragedy. Saw a lot of just the ugly side of things, people's pain and suffering. And my parents kind of navigating that is what they felt it was their call. So
yeah, you've kind of seen the good and the bad, I guess.
Yeah, Dad went through quite a bit of stuff with his ministry time that over the years, and so I saw various ugly things happen in churches and some good things that happen in churches, and so kind of both the bad and the ugly. And I've been to a lot of different churches all over the world and all over the country, and all different denominations and flavors. So that's kind of a. And
then one day you ran into a car.
One day, I went back into a guy's truck, and I literally thought to myself, "Crap, this is going to result in me getting stuck here, and here I'm stuck."
It's actually part of our plan. We actually now try to encourage getting
very narrow parking lot that you can't navigate.
People won't be able to leave if they feel like they get someone pressured into it. Yeah,
that's a good plan.
Yeah. Well, your wife said it was because I invited her to tacos.
What, that was here?
Yeah, the following week we went out to tacos.
Yes, because she said we're never coming back here, and I said, well, you say that, and you reached out to me afterwards, hey, let's go eat tacos, and here we are.
Tacos are the pathway to healing.
The unifier of all mankind, yes.
Yeah.
Tacos and bulldogs.
Well, I mean, we have bulldogs, and every time you come over, you're one of the few friends. I mean, almost everybody likes our bulldog, but when you come over, it's like
it's not like it's joy.
Yeah, you're like the happiest I've ever seen.
You could solve the Middle Eastern crisis with bulldogs.
Probably true.
You could do it.
That's kind of an interesting question, maybe to consider. Is what are you passionate about besides bulldogs?
Well, what am I passionate about? As I've gotten older and I've tried to learn more about who I am as an individual, I do care about people, but I care about people in a weird way. Because again, I'm not the most sociable individual. I'm not like you can go around and just talk to people. You're very gifted at that. You have a personality that I do not. But I do care deeply about people and helping people, and I do think of myself as a very strong friend, because I do care a great deal about
What I like,
This is a heavy question for tacos on it.
Yeah, it is. But I was gonna say, I'll say this about you.
Passive observation.
Just because I think you're hitting the nail. You are the kind of person that cares about really important, like soul, spiritual matters for people. But you're also the kind of person that cares about practical needs for people too. That's why I really appreciate it about you. You're not just trying to like, oh, I'll pray for you.
Yeah, right. And then I don't ever talk to you again, and I don't text you or anything like that. No, I think that's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, it is. That's why we've become friends. I mean, I consider you a friend. You're not just some dude who goes to the church.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, it's those 4 to 5 hour deep conversations that we've had.
Right. And so that's where I find myself. So that's weird that's weird because it makes it difficult because not everybody wants to do that all the time or is prepared for that type of stuff. So I care about people. I care about things that matter. I care about the church, which is one of the reasons why I think I'm so critical of the church and the conversations that I have, is because I care deeply about it and I want it to succeed. And so when it doesn't, it bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
And so I just find myself trying to look and understand you can't get better if you don't really know what's wrong. And I think the church is in a really difficult place. And as a whole.
Yeah, the capital C church.
Capital C church is in a very difficult place. And if we as Christians don't step out to make it better, to fix it, I think we're going to have some real challenges coming.
And it's only getting worse.
Yeah, no, it is only getting worse. And so I think that's something I'm deeply passionate about. I like board games because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd play Catan. I told you, I was like, oh yeah, I played board games before, and I said Catan, and you're like, that's nothing. And then I went to your house.
That's when you saw. I saw my problem. Yeah,
I've never seen that many board games. I was like, this is a level of nerdery that I
have no idea. That's what I said. Catan is the marijuana store. You don't even have to.
Yeah, it's the gateway. Okay.
You don't even have the good stuff. No.
Yeah, and I did like so we played that gateway, played Catan a little bit, but then I played with you some game that at first I was just making fun of, and then I was like, this is actually kind of fun.
This is actually kind of fun. Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to destroy people's worlds.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Pillaging their land and taking their stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. So people might know you because you're oftentimes in the sound booth.
Oftentimes in the sound booth.
Yeah, you're involved in other different areas that we've done things at church. But I think it'd be kind of cool to know is like, what's God doing in your life right now? Like when you're trying to identify.
It's a good question.
What is He doing?
We've talked about that at length.
That was a while ago, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That deep conversation was 6 months ago.
I don't know if I really went anywhere. Well, I know for myself, what I struggled with a lot in the past, especially when I was a younger adult, was how do you live as a Christian in a daily way? How do you build, what are things that you can do to, being a Christian shouldn't be just about Sunday morning. And so how do you build that into your life? As I've kind of gone through various, degrees of maturity in my own mind and, trying to build in daily discipline practice of what worship is beyond songs on a Sunday morning, messages and stuff. So, and then what does that mean and how does that play out in your life and what effect does it have on your daily life? That's where I find myself at right now. Like we've kind of talked about before, about how do we building a disciplined prayer and Bible reading practice into my daily life, and then how does that carry forward into the rest of the day and the rest of the week? And how does that affect my time with my kids? And am I being a good example to them as they're getting old enough now to where that kind of really matters?
I think that was when I kind of recommended to you the Book of Common Prayer.
Yes,
which has been a tool that I've used for a number of years now, and just having the daily office, the daily readings of Scripture, which is a Old Testament, a Psalm, a Gospel, a New Testament epistle,
very structured prayers too.
Yeah. I mean, and what's really cool about it is if you want to be an overachiever, you can do the morning and the evening, right?
Well, and the midday.
Yeah, and then I was just saying I think the one you got, does it have the midday prayers?
Not in the same way yours does, but they're there.
Okay. Yeah. Mine's random. Like on certain holy days, it'll have midday prayer.
There's a section in the back that's got in various places that have midday prayers. And so it's not quite like yours, but they're still, you got to dig a little bit for it.
One of the coolest experiences that I had was, I think it was maybe 6-7 years ago. I was in England and I got to go to a Eucharistic service in the morning at St. Paul's Cathedral. And it was like, I think we had to leave where we were staying at like 5 a.m. to get there by 7 for their service.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and there's literally like 8 of us in this little chapel, but they did the scripture readings, and yeah, it was really cool. That was actually when I think I became more attuned to Anglicanism, which is the tradition that's developed the Book of Common Prayer. I was like, oh, I kind of like this.
Yes, Catholic light.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I think for me what it helped is, as I've thought more about Christianity, what it means, and especially in like relationship to culture, and what is it, for us, how does it impact our lives? And I feel like we've gotten very American Christian. Sunday, go to church on Sunday, maybe Easter and Christmas, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot more to it than that. And the Book of Common Prayer specifically is interesting because it does that and it provides a structure to a daily life. Because I've never been a huge fan of the, more commercialized, devotional books, would come out every year or whatever.
Like they're great for some people.
Yeah, some people are fan. Like for a lot of people, they're really, really wonderful, and it's not a criticism of that. It's just my own personal preferences. I find it also is built into it a calendar of, like you said, holy days and festivals, and I've been thinking a lot about those things that we've kind of gotten away from that as a church. What would it mean for the church to actually adhere to I almost call it an inconvenience, but like a calendar and a way of like living Christianity that actually like it had impositions on your life, and you actually had to make decisions and sacrifices. Like
Lent, it's exactly inconvenient.
I never did it. Like we never did it when I was a kid, and so it made me think. It's like, wow, maybe this is one is there are we doing it just because, or is there actual real reasons? There's things to be gained from this.
Yeah. Well, it's like buying into the belief that practices and habits and rhythms are formative.
Yes,
and
which has been
that's
been a big part of my thinking lately is that idea of forms and practices versus just beliefs and thoughts, and how do we merge those two ideals? Here's the big questions.
Yeah,
this is what I think.
It's okay. We can do this in Taco Tuesday. Well, I mean, no
one's gonna want to listen to this.
I would. That's not true. Your wife and your mom and your dad will.
Oh gosh,
that's what you can count on. But yeah, I mean, so I think to anybody watching this, Nathan's just a really great person to get to know. You can make the small talk; he'll make the big talk. And if you're actually interested more in the Book of Common Prayer, or any other resources that might be helpful for your own spiritual journey, I think that they could talk to you. You'd probably be more than willing to show them your copy of the book.
How I figured out how to use it, if I'm even using it right.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I did. It took me a while. So, yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Taco Tuesday. Thanks for eating little tacos.
Thank you.
Shortest conversation we've ever had in the history of our relationship.
Indeed.
Yeah.